some at some point they do get a TV deal sorted, because they're certainly good enough to get a TV deal, and probably at the moment, I would say production wise just as good as what TNA are giving. So there'd probably be somebody out there willing to have that on. So yeah, that sums it up. So yeah, really good, enjoyable overall night at Ring of Honor. Enjoyed it a lot. Now, Matt, Survivor Series. That's what it was all about, I suppose. The bulk of the weekend that everybody was waiting to see. Did you see the kickoff to it? Because I completely missed the kickoff, Matt. But for the fans or the listeners that will want to know, what did we get? Because
I'll ease their consciences a bit, because I'll say if you'd missed the kickoff show, you didn't miss that much. I mean, not to belittle the cruiserweight division, but it's becoming kind of a standard now where we keep seeing a 6-man kind of tag at the beginning in a kickoff show, and that's all right, but you don't want to keep seeing that. And then when you consider that to the next match that was on the kickoff show with Kane versus Luke Harper, you really didn't miss that much.
Yeah, can I ask a question? Did they go out their way on a kickoff to change the ropes and all the rest of it for that one? Can you remember? Or?
No, I didn't really pay too much attention to that. Now, actually, you've said that. I should have been focusing on the details, but no, I was just carried away by the actual thought of this again.
Yeah.
I can't say I actually noticed it if there was, but I do remember that actually on the main pay-per-view they did do that.
Yeah. I was just interested to know. And of course the other match down there that I heard about was Luke Harper and Kane, and Kane won as well, I believe.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, it wasn't anything special. It wasn't like out of the blue or anything. It was just very slow kind of match, and I felt like Luke Harper was definitely capable of more in this.
Yeah, so by all accounts, Matt was saying earlier that it was some sort of record to have Kane. Like Kane got something for it, so it's going to go in one of those things.
It's been the most consecutive Survivor Series, I think it is now.
Terrific. So those things that they have on WWE when they go, the countdown of who holds the record of it, he'll be on that. That's his spot now. He's sorted for life, isn't he? Let's get into the show itself. At the beginning, we had this promo go up, this sort of usual WWE kind of over the top business and trying to make it all seem very the whole. I hated the fact they kept that bloody catchphrase, the fantasy warfare. It really done my nutting. I was sick to death of it, and I kept seeing the video game, and then I kept seeing the real life, and it really bugged me. When they did that, I was just like, just did not enjoy that. It's kind of something that TNA would do back in the day. Like, I don't know why WWE felt the need to keep doing that, but they're trying to sell things, Matt, without a doubt. This seems like 2K17 was all over this in a way. Nonetheless, let's get into
definitely one of the main goals of the night to sell that game.
Yeah, I think without a doubt. Let's get into the first match now. We had a bit of controversy, I guess, which was because it was going to be the women's match started off the show, which I was quite surprised about. I mean, as a kickoff show, kicking off the night, I didn't expect this to be the first one. I thought it was going to be maybe the tag team one, but they went with this, and fair enough. I suppose it's not massively an issue, but I'll say one thing, Matt. In all the Survivor Series matches tonight, did you find, like, just as an overall thing here, that the crowd, they found it hard to know, like, who to cheer for, because you had heels and faces on both teams, and nobody was really sitting there surely going, I'm SmackDown, or I'm Raw. I'm sure it was more about who your favourite wrestler is, as opposed to giving a damn about which one wins. I mean, I don't think there could be one person. I mean, if you're out there and you're listening to this podcast, please email in. Tell me if anyone is out there that was really worried about the situation of Raw or SmackDown getting the one up on each other, then let me know. But I tell you, I didn't sense any of that in the crowd whatsoever, and I think there was a lot of confusion sometimes about who to cheer for, and it was very sort of mixed up all round. But the first match we got, of course, was Team SmackDown versus Team Raw of the women's, and then there was this whole thing with where Nikki Bella at the beginning, Matt, She's been attacked backstage, rung alarm bells to me. It was like, oh, this is a nod, isn't it, to some other stuff that we've seen at Survivor Series. And there is Natty, she's there, and like, I was like, even if I don't care who done it. That's the thing. I couldn't give a stuff, quite frankly, because even if it's the obvious one, which would be Natty, quite frankly, even if they wanted to go, oh, it's not Natty, we'll shock you with somebody else, I still wouldn't be that bothered. I mean, none of it would really shock me. Just the way WWE is sometimes with this. What did you think of that, Matt? Because there was nothing really reported about an injury or anything like that that I read up on. And we did say on our preview that we were surprised Natty, who seemed like she was sort of the main sort of another sort of captain for the team, that she wasn't on it anyway. But what did you make of that little angle at the beginning? And did you see anything real relevance to it?
No, I really just like you. I really didn't care that much about it. The only thing that I did think was, from a realistic standpoint, that if they did lose Nikki Bella, I was thinking, well, there went one of your chances of actually doing decently in this match, because Natty's good, but as a replacement, I don't think it's going to carry as much weight. But then it also brings up another question of, like, they knew this ahead of time, so why was Nikki made team captain instead of Becky, when, like, they knew Becky was staying in the match and they knew Nikki wasn't going to get into the match. It just seems like a whole, like, bit of false promotion.
Yes, it certainly didn't it? Yeah. The match itself, I mean, I've got notes here. Actually, I didn't mind this. I kind of enjoyed it. I felt like they all kept a good pace. I think I underscored Nia Jax. I felt she come off very well in it. I think they done what they were supposed to do. I mean, she was almost the person that everyone was just sort of going to fall down for pretty much through the whole thing for a majority of it. And then, I think when you started to see it develop and some of the eliminations happening, I think I knew the way it was going to go, with leaving those two. What did you make of the match, Matt, and the actual, like, traditional Survivor Series match, as far as putting this, what was this? Is this? I'm guessing this might not have been the first female Survivor Series match. I don't know if we've ever had one before when Trish and all that were there. I can't. Maybe we did. I'm not sure.
We've definitely had female Survivor Series matches, but I don't think they were ever classed as important as this.
Yeah. Yeah. What did you make of the match, Matt? Watching this one.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I did enjoy it. I felt like you said, Nia Jax came off excellently. The whole building her up for the last few months with her squash matches paid off at an event like this. And I think, even like putting Becky at the end there as the last remaining one, that was a good choice as well. I'm a little bit disappointed that my prediction, I was slightly out because I said Charlotte would be the sole survivor, but Bayley was there as well. But, I can sort of say Charlotte was the only one that walked out of the night.
Yeah, she certainly was. And, of course, which meant, I mean, on paper, Matt, I think Team Raw were massively favourites, even with Nikki Bella on the other team anyway, for me. But, yeah, I mean, I think this was a good match. I mean, I can't really knock it too much. I think it done... you can't have tremendous matches every single time. You've got to remember that. But I think for what it was, with that amount of talent, sometimes it's hard to do. You've all got to get your spots in. You've all got to try and make it time enough, and it can be a difficult process in these kind of these kind of matches. And even when you go back, and I've been watching a lot of the old Survivor Series pay-per-views, and trust me, in the more latter ones, I think, because they overcomplicate it and everything screws up a lot, whereas the older ones was so much more easier going. It wasn't as complex as what it's become with the eliminations and the amount of people that are in at once. It was a little bit more slower as well. So yeah, I think this was a decent match. I mean, I give this one a solid 3.5, Matt, for me, and I think it was a good start to the show nonetheless. Of course, Team Raw winning, Matt. I think did we both say that, or did we go with for Raw? I can't even remember now who I said for in this one.
Yeah, both Raw. I think It wasn't said. Yep.
Yeah, what did you think about the? I mean, obviously you said you felt Charlotte. What was your prediction? But obviously Bayley and Charlotte at the end. What was your sum up of the match, Matt, and obviously the aftermath of all that?
Yeah, good match, and a bit at the end, you know, I was kind of predicting Charlotte to sort of sole survive it, but then after what happened at the end, it did kind of make sense. I was like, oh, we're going down this path, are we? Bayley's time has come, as it, for a bit of the main spotlight. You know, I'm not going to hold that against them for going on that decision, but I do kind of feel that after the huge run of losses that Bayley's had, you know, I don't really think it's the right timing for that. But if they're so keen to pull that trigger after what they've seen, like particularly when they were in Scotland and they couldn't even hear themselves talk over the chanting for Bayley, you know, then I guess they might have been forced into that situation.
Yeah, I think this is too soon. I mean, what is wrong with the chase? You know, what is wrong with the story going into WrestleMania just around the corner now? Or you know, why are they running this now? I don't know, when you've got the amount of talent that they have in the female roster at the moment. I think Charlotte can still be the champion, I'm not saying I want to see her and Sasha Banks that much anymore, but like I want to see, I'd rather see Bayley have at least one program where she comes out the other side victorious. Like, I want to see that rise. I feel like they haven't done it very well with her at all, and they're only going on the reaction, which is sometimes they act on very fast, and other times they don't even listen to the fans. So it's confusing sometimes how they sometimes listen and they just go with it, and then other times they're just ignorant to it and they don't see it. So, you know, the whole business after the match called Charlotte absolutely annihilating her, I can already see the way they're going to go with this, and who knows when that match will occur. I just think it's just too soon. I mean, why waste something for one of these brand only pay-per-views? You know, like, this could really be something much more, but nonetheless we're going to get what we're going to get, I guess, and it was always going to go that way. Overall, Matt's, did you give us a rating for that one? I couldn't remember if you said it. Sorry.
I'll go with you that one. I think it's 3.5 from me as well.
Fair enough.
Good match, yeah, but I was expecting a little bit more, maybe, perhaps, yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. Then we cut to a backstage promo. I kind of like this. I did chuckle to myself. Anderson and Gallows, who met with James Ellsworth, who, of course, just, you know, wandering backstage like you would, and they, of course, sort of joke on him, and then Mick Foley breaks it up, and then I love the fact that they had Braun just come out and sort of say something along the lines of "Don't I know you?" or something like that. Which is ironic to where James Ellsworth's got. I mean, isn't it ironic, Matt? You know, you got this guy who has had all the jobs going for him all this time, yet James Ellsworth is in the main event kind of spots on SmackDown. You know, already it's incredible to a guy that got his ass absolutely handed to him against this guy. But yeah, I did like that little spot backstage. It was a nice little piece to put in. Next, we had the Intercontinental title match between The Miz and Sami Zayn, and this was, I don't know what I think of this. I mean, it was good, but I tell you, the ending to it, was diabolical for me. I hated that. I hate it when the referee is such a complete idiot. It just annoys me to hell. I mean, why do they make the referees not have a brain? It's beyond me. What did you think of the match, Matt, and Sami Zayn in particular? Because this was a nice little outing to see what this guy can do. He gets this sort of big match in Canada as well, and I think the Miz worked particularly well with him as well. But obviously, we were expecting Dolph, which would have been such a different type of match. When we got this going into this one, Matt, I was a little bit sort of underwhelmed that we were getting this and not Dolph Ziggler. But what did you think of it watching the match?
Yeah, it was a bit disappointing to me, really, because I was really hoping that it would have been Dolph Ziggler in this spot, because I think face versus face would have been such a more interesting story to tell, rather than had them having to panic mode and just switch it up and put the Miz back into it. I know that's great for the Miz, but the thing is, man, the whole point of that is Miz should never have lost that title in the first place. It just